Oh shit. Today we're gonna be doing book recommendations. Book recommendations. Let that be fiction, fantasy, self-growth, mental health. I'm gonna give you babies everything. Everything that I have read or in the process of reading, I am giving you my most honest review and my dead-ass opinion. Raw. Next question. Excuse me? I'm gonna fool the motherfucker. Okay. We're cool? Okay. This artwork right here, I haven't even read. Okay, so these are both the same books. I just really like hardbacks. I have not read these two beautiful angels. These two, I have not read them. Sorry, I've read this one. I have not read these beautiful angels. But I know that they're gonna be amazing. Honestly, like, I don't get why people hate on this book. Some people are like, oh my god, it's like a copy and paste of like whatever. I don't give a shit. This book right here, excuse me, honestly, I'm gonna be so dead ass. It was really difficult for me to get into it in like the first 2 chapters. I was kind of just like, who are you people? Because I get attached to the characters, and sometimes I get into these reading slumps because I'm so attached to the previous books I read. Am I crazy? Overall, strongly recommend. Honestly, it's a bit of fresh air. You know, I don't get why people are so like picky about books, and it's like, oh, the storyline is so similar to this. Give me a book that is as similar to Shatter Me. Give it to me because I'll read it again. Like, I don't get why people hate on books that are kind of like similar to different stories. I'm fucking this shit up. Please. If you're into fantasy, enemies to lovers kind of thing, love triangle, I'm just gonna say, this book did something to me. The way it's written, the name alone, Archer's Voice, doesn't even express how good the story is. Honestly, the best way to put it, it's just so innocent. It's like, it's not innocent, but like, it's just so low-key a plot twist. You know, at the end, you're kind of like, bitch, no way. That kind of thing. Nothing like, oh my god, but it's like, oh my god, no fucking way. It's great. Romance, slow burn kind of thing. Not enemies to lovers. I fuck this shit up with enemies to lovers. Enemies to lovers, oh my god, there's just something about it. If it's not enemies to lovers, I'm kind of like, do I even want to read that? But this is good. Alright, I'm gonna give this like a... I'm gonna give this a 3-star. 3-star. This was honestly great. This is my opinion, and many people would disagree, but agree to disagree. I give this book a 3-star. 3.5 star. Because honestly, it was great. I really enjoyed it, and it did make me shed a couple of tears because honestly, yeah. You don't know slow burn until you read this. This is one of the most amazing motherfucking books I've ever read in my whole life. This is the most amazing books I've ever read in my whole life. If that's not convincing enough for you, I don't know what to tell you. Let me calm down. Let me chill the fuck out because this is artwork. Bitch, the slow burn in this has me like ripping my hair out because it's too slow, but oh my god, it's so good. Once again, it's enemies to lovers, and I'm gonna give this the infinity stars. This is the most amazing thing I've ever fucking read in my whole life. And I've read a lot of books. This shit, like, this shit deserves to be in like a fucking museum in like a glass box, because holy shit. I was struggling to get into this book. This is the first book. I was struggling to get into it. I'm gonna be honest. But oh my god, like, once you get to know the characters, and she fooled me. She fooled me well. Again. Then this masterpiece came out and I was like, oh my god, because I fucking loved the first one. I finished it and I was like, oh, second one. Oh my god. And then the third one came out and I was like, oh my god. She just posted on Instagram the cover of the fourth motherfucking book. And I'm not even gonna show you, because you're gonna go on her fucking page and you're gonna check what book it is, because the cover is artwork itself and then the writing is another form of artwork. That is some fucking story planning. Because, I mean, like, if I have not convinced you to read this, your own fucking problem. It's your loss, because holy shit. This is artwork. The covers are artwork. The author is artwork. I love her, and I love her for giving me this in my life, because where would I be? And they're beautiful. And I just know they're fucking gorgeous. It's spectacular. Please, if I haven't convinced you, your own problem, because you're missing out big time. Infinity Stars. My most favorite thing in the whole world at the moment. Once again, I'm really not hard to impress. This was amazing. I'm sorry, the covers, like, can we just give a quick moment to just like appreciate the beauty? This is my favorite cover. The first one. Slow burn, enemies to lovers, once again. Beautiful. Honestly, finished this fucking trilogy in like 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I finished these 3 books. Keep in mind, I work full-time. I was looking at my shadow on the back. I was like, what the fuck is that? This trilogy put me in a reading slump. And I'm only after picking up Powerless after this. This is the most recent trilogy I've read. And I'm gonna give it 5 stars. I loved it. I don't give a shit what anyone says to me. Your opinion, my opinion. This is really good. Honestly, like I said, I'm not hard to impress. Enemies to lovers, I'm fucking that shit up, because that is amazing. If I'm being so honest, I want my man to be like Jude. I need a man like her in my life. Once again, enemies to lovers. And did I fuck that shit up? Yeah, I did. If I'm being honest, this was my first... This was my first fantasy series I read, ever. And this was like 3 years ago that I read this. And I loved it. I loved it. I really loved every bit of it. Fantasy, I can't read books about real life. Fucking eats. I'm not even gonna say what. It sucks. Fantasy, you got me. Enemies to lovers? Shit. I mean, you got a winner. I think this is the only series I finished that was not like fantasy or dystopian. This was the first real life series I read, like based off of like society itself. Honestly, I fucking loved it. I ate it up. Enemies to lovers. Oh, forbidden romance. Enemies to lovers. Oh my god. Fake dating. Bitch, you got me. Once again, I am not hard to impress. once I seen Forbidden Love, Enemies to Lovers, oh my god. I'm honestly gonna like, I'm not gonna rate some of these books because my reaction alone is just like, it tells you enough. If you like kind of reading a series where you don't leave the characters behind, that's my problem. I get attached to the characters and I can't stop thinking about them. So I finished this book, but my babe Ava is in all the other ones, so I'm not technically leaving her behind. She's still there. But honestly, it's so well written. I really liked it. It was so enjoyable. It's not something that I wanted to criticize and be like, oh, the writing was kind of like, oh, like it wasn't poetic. Like, I don't care. I enjoyed the story and I think the story was great. It was so enjoyable and I fucking loved it. Honestly, I'm scared. I didn't even finish it, if I'm being honest. There was a time, once upon a time, a long time ago, I was into dark romance. And so I read Haunting Adeline and I finished it. And then I started Hunting Adeline. Haunting Adeline was graphic enough. Fuck ton of trigger warnings that you need to look into. But nothing prepared me for this. I promise I did not finish this. There's a limit. Shit had me kind of questioning shit. I was like, whoa, like, hold on. There's so much shit happening. Talk about stalking crazy motherfucking vibes. Like, I mean, you might like it, but me, I'm kind of scared. So, if you get, like, if you get kind of like, if you don't like the Shatter Me series, to be honest, I don't like you. I read the Shatter Me series 3 years ago when I was just finishing up school. I picked this baby up when I was in the bookstore and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. This is the bad bitch that also wrote this Woven Kingdom series. I'm just gonna say that girl is... She knew what she knew what she was doing. She fooled me as fuck, and she fooled me twice. And I'm sure she's gonna fucking fool me the third time because I loved it. I don't know why people hate on it. Honestly, it's one of my favorite series I've ever read in my whole life. Like, this is the best thing I've ever read in my whole fucking life. I don't care if the writing's simple. I loved it. The planning, the yearning, the enemies to lovers. Oh, I'm the biggest fucking sucker for enemies to lovers. It's just the fact that they have seen the worst part of you and they still decide to love you. That's what gets me. Can we just talk about this artwork right here? This is my favorite book in the whole series. This one, that's when like everything just started blossoming. That's the cover. It represents blossoming. Everything blossomed. Everything was just like, pew, pew, pew. I was like, oh my god. A million times, yes. I'm not gonna say anything because if I say anything, it's just gonna spoil it. Because I have a lot of opinions. I love it and I hate it at the same time. Made me feel a lot of stuff. Made me angry. But made me being like, yeah! I'm not even gonna do Colleen Hoover, but I'm gonna do this one. This was the first book talk book I read. I seen this on TikTok like how many years ago when it literally just came out and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a try. I finished this in a matter of 2 days and I fucking loved it. If I'm being honest, I fucking loved it. I mean, it's amazing for a first book. But if I was to read something like this again after everything I've read, I'm gonna be like, what the hell is this? I mean, Blake Lively, thanks a lot, but you ruined it for me. Like 2 years ago, I would have said this was in my top 5, and now I'm just like, it's at the bottom. What I'm gonna say is, it's not a rom-com. Please look at the trigger warnings. Abuse is not romantic. I'm just gonna say that. When I read this like 3 years, how many years ago? Oh my god, I was eating that shit up. But this is proof that I have matured and that I have read so many beautiful things, because this is, I don't even know what to say. It's like 3 years ago I was like, wow, it's amazing, and then now I look at it and I'm like, what was I thinking? We're just gonna show this in the video because this is what got me into reading. This is what made me who I am today.